So, as we can see here, spoiler, I'm now 609. I'm no longer in low ELO Goof Town. We are going up against somebody that is 733. That is a bit intimidating. This is the highest rated person I think I've gone up against. Maybe someone higher when I tried doing a tournament a few weeks back. But let's see how this game goes. This is a lot more difficult of a game, I feel like, than I've been playing lately. There was a lot more to think about. Don't Call Me Danny was pulling moves that I haven't seen before, and it was, I feel like, a really hard-fought game. You can see in the evaluation bar that it stayed pretty consistent. I almost tried to give away the game with a few inaccuracies, and then they just kind of blundered, to which I tried to give it back to them, but, they didn't want it. So let's start with the game review. They're going to come out. What are we doing? The Stonewall. This move got Queen's Pawn opening. That's the book move. So we do what we usually do whenever anybody comes out here and we come up. They take. I decide to take back. So it definitely says to capture this way. I want to look more into that. I believe I heard someone say sometime that you're supposed to take this way, though it doesn't make the most sense because then queen there and we're just kind of in a goof, even though I do. It just starts getting goofy. It just starts getting a little goofy. So I try and take toward the center. They pull out their knights to attack this pawn. Just a principal move. I'm going to move the bishop where it's supposed to go. I'm still trying to kind of do the basic Stonewall framework. They do the good old, I feel like everybody, I get hit with this move fairly often. And I push my knight. They push this. I don't know what this move does. Even now, it's a very strong play, but I don't know what it does. Like maybe creates a pawn storm this way, but I don't know. So I come here with the idea to come here. So I also kind of wanted to reroute my bishop to do this pin because I thought it'd be nice to grab this. Oh, and then it'd get taken. Never mind. I shouldn't try to think. Anyway, to come up here, to do a little goofiness. Now we all know this isn't my favorite move. It's really nice when it works out, but apparently it just rarely works out. They push forward like you do. Now coming here is interesting because it also defends and attacks. So it would have been a fairly interesting move. They pull up. Now, what you might be seeing is a certain weakness developing. Little dark squared weakness, which I only noticed because people have been doing it to my Stonewall, which just completely makes the bishop, my light squared bishop, feel completely and utterly useless. This move right here, it's kind of goofy. Maybe I should have came here, opened this up, castled, got my rook on the file, and just do the normal Stonewall stuff. But I wanted to start moving. And at this point, I kind of don't know what to do because even now you can see it a little bit. Can't go here, can't go here. My knight, my bishop's still hemmed in, so maybe I can get some play here. I also was worried about the queen coming this way, so I wanted to defend it. Unfortunately, that takes away my good old defense of if they come here, knight to d2, and then they'll usually take, and you take back, and, it's a knight for a knight. It's not a big deal. They wasted a bunch of time for you to get a piece. I decided to go c3 just because I can attack this and kind of do the way I wanted to do it. If they don't move or if they do something goofy, I can take, they take, I take, and now my light squared bishop feels good again because I'm also, unless they don't, they have to move this or this. Because if they decide to do a pawn push and I take here, I'm forking. They decided to take the dark squared bishop. That, I think, is a good, like, that made this whole thing a little more tricky. Now, could I have just come to the dark squares and then get taken? So no. But gone to the dark squares and started using my queen as a dark squared bishop? Maybe. For sure. But right now, it's about to be taken. So I decided to take back with my knight. Now, 2 knights. They have the bishop pair. The light squared bishop isn't doing a lot. And again, we're back on the light squares. And this is where it gets complicated because I'm having trouble dealing with the light squares not having anything to do. Come back here to counter this bishop, and I want it to move. And here's where, I spoke in the last game that sometimes this is the best move. And I think it's because there's nothing free. Except I would have just lost here. And then they would have lost. And then... yeah, I guess. I don't know. We both would have lost bishops at that point. They come up to defend, which is smart because when I came down, that's undefended. Here I'm setting up to try and break open the center to try and get some play because I feel like everywhere else I go, I don't want to start moving pawns in front of my king, and weakening, the dark squares. Granted, it may have made up for the light square weakness, whatever. So I don't necessarily want to do that. I come up here. That doesn't really do a whole lot. Yeah, it's an invasion, but now I'm just losing a rook for no reason. Here these are cut off. Again, I feel very stuck and very cramped in this position. So I move up to try and make a play happen. Not the best move, but hey, it is defended by the knight, and then the knight can come like here, or and then say this gets pushed up, and then I have a nice outpost where I'm forking. So I have plans. They're just not great plans, as usual. They come down here to do, I guess, come this way and do something. I'm not completely sure. The plan here is to either come here or here, depending on what happens. If they want to pull here, I'm not super afraid of it getting caught because I'm just going to take back from the center and open up this file. Then they move their queen. I'm not super sure what that queen move was. I think they're trying to build a battery on this pawn. Yeah, I think they may have made a bit of a mistake. And maybe they're trying to do that, and then just come in because this pawn's doesn't look like it's defended, and then they can just come in. I think that might be the plan they're going for that I just thought of. I decided to come here once again. I'm blocking this. I'm threatening to come here and just get taken, but I like this. This is as close to an outpost as you can get. If they came up, I think the plan was to go here and just start trying to harass people, and then I'm forking 2 pieces. They decide to take. Why not? I just moved the knight that's defending. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. I have 2 knights. So take the light squared bishop. Not that it's doing a lot because look at all the light squared stuff. And all of it's defended. And I'm going to keep harping that. I think that made this kind of a difficult game for me because generally speaking, people aren't pulling stuff like this. And then they have 2 dark squared pieces that can just run ramshot and go wherever they want. They take. I decide to go ahead and attack the queen. Hey, maybe they blunder and come here and I can just take it. Maybe they blunder and go here. They would never do that. They could go here. I'm trying to get it out of the way. Just trying to make moves. I thought a lot about these different moves coming up with either of these pawns. I just didn't see what was next. and it kind of fixes a weakness, really. So they come there, they bring their down. Again, I'm not completely sure what they're doing here. I think it's to maybe attack here. Oh no, you know what? It's probably to do this. Fork. Because if I take, they get a queen. If I move my bishop. Yeah. Looks like that was the plan. So I move over to pin, which was a mistake. They really want me to do that. I don't know why. And then they blunder by castling. And this allows me to put pressure on this pinned piece. And this can go a few different ways that I don't super agree with, kind of. So they decide to attack my queen to relieve the pressure on here. That works. Let me show you what I did first, or let me show you the plan that I think Stockfish had. Which is you take. If they take here, you take, and then it gets taken. And I'm up 1 at this point. Okay. And then they can come down. Nope. And then what? What would I do at that point? I don't think there's like a super awesome move to be done. Maybe I come down here. Oof. Oh, wow. That was not a great move. What would be next? C6? C6? But then why? You're just giving away a... Well, now I'm up 3. So... I'm a little confused on why C6. Oh, because I'm sacrificing the knight for a rook. Okay. Got it. And if they don't take, because... Well, that's a blunder, because I just take. And we're still in the same situation. So you'd have to... Can't go here. Come up here, maybe? And start attacking just anything else. Yeah. Because you do have this nasty little fork right here. But this actually defends it. And takes. So, maybe we come... maybe we leave this tension here. Because this is also just not a bad spot. And that fork's just always on the table. And so instead we... What? What could we do? Come here. Start this attack. I have an engine right here. So let's see. F2. F2. So I'm not completely sure, but it says activating my king at this point, even though it doesn't feel like we're in the end game. Yeah, because they just can't take. Because that's just, it's too big of a loss. So activating the king, apparently. Anyway, let's get back to it. I push up. That's not what happens. They move over. I get freaked. Because I don't want to lose my queen, because for some reason I can't do this move in 3 different moves. Because if you take, the first calculations was, they take down here and then I get a queen and we just do a queen trade, because then they would come down and then I would take. And so that works out amazingly for me, because I get the queen, a knight, and a rook for a queen and a rook. And so I'm up at that point. yeah, that was what I thought was happening, and then I was like, oh wait, they have this here, so then I take, they take, and then now it's a battery and a little more disgusting, because if I don't do anything, they take, I take, they take, and it just gets really bad. So I kind of freaked out. I came over here to just start an attack on the king. They take with the rook. I take back here. I don't know why this is best move. I'm sure taking with the rook was probably also fine. And then they move up here. Now, why is this a blunder? Oh, it feels bad, man, because this was protecting this fork the entire time. And that's what I do. And it sucks for Don't Call Me Danny, but yeah, he comes up here, and then I'm looking at another fork with check. This is the point he resigned. There are plenty of moves. Could he have come back? Sure, but this would have been a rough one. Absolutely. And then the best move here is him coming here. And then, I've looked at this a little bit because you can come here and protect it, and then now it's just harassing the knight or the king. Now it's just kind of harassing the king, even though this is not the best move, I think. But yeah, so I've clawed my way out of low ELO, and by low, I mean 500. I'm still low ELO. We're not really good. We're making bunches of plans, and they're just bad plans. This was really fun, though. It was really, again, a tricky game, especially with the light squares, because even now his light squares are, he's controlling most of them, even though, like, this one's now weak. This one's weak. But yeah, tricky game. It was a great game, and I had a lot of fun. Hope to see you guys again.